Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to take a look at the Manaforge Vandals reputation, how you unlock them, what they're worth, what they do, etc. Covering it all. So the Manaforge Vandals are the reputation system, very similar to the Galagio from the previous expansion. So if you take a look at the Galagio Loyalty Rewards Club, that was obviously a raid only Renown. That was available in the first section or the second part, second season. To unlock the Manaforge Vandals, you need to come to Shadow Point in Koresh. You will then see Zotaru, who you can speak to, and they will have a quest called Meet the Vandals. You simply have to accept it, hand it in, and you will have the Manaforged Vandals unlocked. Now you can start to earn renown with them and make progress. So how do we earn renown with the Manaforge Vandals? Well, it's pretty straightforward. You need to do raiding. The only way to gain reputation with the Manaforge Vandals is by completing the raid. You don't have to complete the whole thing every week, but depending on your difficulty, you will get a certain amount of reputation towards the faction based on the bosses you defeat. So for example, if we look at the previous expansion, Chrome King Gallywix dropped 1,000 reputation, whereas earlier bosses dropped like 450, 500. There is around about 5,000 rep that you can get each week, and it scales upwards. So the longer the season goes, that cap disappears. So very quickly you'll be able to max out the reputation. The only way to gain rep is by doing the raid. So even if you are doing it on heroic, normal, etc., make sure that you are doing the raid as much as you can if you're looking to really farm the reputation with Manaforge Vandals and obviously gain all of the rewards. So let's take a look at their renown and how it works. So there are 15 renown tracks. They're pretty straightforward. Vendors and auctioneers are available at rank 1. Rank 2 will unlock Lumithar. It drops a spool of Loom Beast Silk. This is an important currency. It's one of the bosses you face early on in the raid, and this currency is important because you need it to exchange for some of the prizes that are on offer from the Manaforge Vandals. A lot of these are in-raid buffs, so for example, Speed Siphoner will increase your movement speed while inside the raid. You also get a Shadow Guard Locator which helps you out, you unlock raid skips. It essentially just gives you more and more buffs within the raid. It allows you to essentially have more effectiveness on enchants in the raid. It allows you to essentially have new like options from the vendors. But the big thing is that it gives you additional boosts in the raids. So like the great one is at rank 10, for example, behind enemy lines, just gives you a flat 9% buff to your damage and healing, which as you can imagine, if you're looking to do the raid competitive or just do the raid in general, is pretty helpful. Tier 8 will give you access to things like the Vandal Gear Glider, which is a really cool mount. And then the only other really two important sections are 12, which gives you the second currency, which is the Ethereal Essence Silver. This will drop from Nexus King Saladar, so it's another currency. Once you have access to it, it will drop from him every time you beat him. This will drop on different difficulties. You can also drop multiple, so that's more than fine. Same with Lumithar. And then last one obviously is rank 14, where you can obtain the Bone Freezer mount, which is pretty dang cool. So now we have a good idea for their renown. We obviously need to understand the vendors. There are two major vendors, and then other rewards will come from Zotaru. So if you don't see any rewards with these other two vendors, then they will come from Zotaru once you hit the relevant renown. But you have Zopropo, who gives you cosmetic weapon appearances. We need Ethereal Essence Sliver for him, which drops from the second to last boss of the raid, provided you've met the renown requirement of 12. And then you have Acquirer Bathium, who drops, you have Bachoso, who will sell you cloak appearances if you provide him with Loom Beast Silk, which drops once you hit renown 2 from the second boss of the raid. Then you have Acquirer Bathium, where you can exchange your set piece items. So here is where you're able to exchange set piece items, which is pretty good, and this will allow you to get some pretty solid pickups from the raid. So pretty good, obviously scaling upwards all the way up to mythic. So this drops from various bosses within the raid. You can come here and exchange your items, which I think is pretty good. So that is that. If you really want to make progress with this Renown and you want to use the bus for your raid group, you're going to need to play the raids every single week as much as possible to max on that rep to get those advantages nice and early. Of course, you can always catch up, but that's entirely up to you. But thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, and bye.